G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Hacchan and Android 17 unit and just how good they are in DBZ Dokkan battle with their Extreme Z Awakening. Now of course with their Extreme Z Awakening they got an Android's category lead of Ki +3 and HP attack and defense at 77%. They now raise attack for one turn on their super attack and have a high chance, which is 50%, to stun the enemy. In terms of passive skill, they have 125% attack and defense with an additional attack and defense at 80% and chance of performing a critical hit plus 25% and reduction in damage received by 25% when HP is 80% or less. They guard all attacks for 8 turns from the start of turn, and they have an additional attack and defense of 80%, and they launch an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack for 8 turns after receiving an attack. They have Android Assault, Infighter, Tough as Nails, Cold Judgment, Solid Support, Courage, and Shattering the Limit as their links, and they have Androids and Joint Forces as their only teams. So we're going to be trying them out on Joint Forces. We're going to see just how good they can be on that team. Overall, pretty straightforward stuff. I think, for the most part, it's very simple. So you're going to want to get them to get hit. That's going to activate the second part of their passive, and then they are going to want to obviously fall below 80%. So if we take a look at them here, they don't look too overwhelming at this point, barely around 100k defense, really nothing too inspiring to take a look at. But we're going to see them under all their conditions slowly ramp up and start to look better and better as things go along. So overall, it's very interesting to see a unit like this. I think they are pretty impressive. 1.2 million, by the way. Very solid stuff for the most part. So for me, I quite like how this unit's built. The guard being there is very good because it allows them to set themselves up to get hit. So the fact that they have guard kind of allows them to get hit, to activate that at least crucial, very easy to activate part of their passive, which is obviously to get attacked. With that, they then look a lot better defensively, and that means falling below the 80% threshold is a lot less risky overall. It also means that they perform at a decent clip and they get multiple super attacks. So the thing is, or the thing with all these types of units and things like that, basically for a unit like this, it can definitely be something that is make or break, good or bad. So here you can see their defense is shot up a lot because of them being hit. Now the goal is to fall below 80%. So obviously that's something that's very important, that needs to happen to kind of improve that defense even further. The thing is, at the end of the day, this unit can look incredible or it can look distinctly average, depending on how the factors fall into your favor. Should you never fall below 80% health, which means you're dominating the event, I guess, so it doesn't really matter, they're not going to look that impressive. They will have guard, so they won't be completely useless. They'll have their stun chance, but they're not going to be doing a lot of damage, or be a super good tank. They'll be okay, but they won't be a super good tank. If you get them obviously below the 80% health threshold when you're in a bit of a tight bind, they're going to look very impressive as a tank. Guard plus over 260,000 defense, plus 25% damage reduction, plus multiple super attacks, plus baked in crits is a very impressive kind of system. So for me, honestly speaking, I think they, for a free-to-play unit, can be incredibly good situationally. I personally think they're a great unit for SBR and ESBR. They do a fantastic job of stunning and controlling the opposition. They do a great job of, tanking because of their guard, because of their damage reduction they get. Generally speaking, you'll be below the 80% health threshold in that fight for the most part. So they look very, very good. Here we can see just how big their defense has become. Now they do have cold judgment and things quite, are quite important. But you can see how once all the requirements are fulfilled, how they go from 1.2 million in attack stat to 2.7 million in attack stat. They get multiple super attacks. They have the chance to crit. They have damage reduction. They have 260k defense. It's all very, very good looking numbers. So again, it's one of those things. They as a unit can look exceptional. You can have them looking really, really solid. They can do fantastic work. They can tank, they can guard, they can stun, they do decent damage, they have crits, multiple supers, but it's going to depend on you being below that 80% threshold. The activating the getting hit thing for 8 turns is really not hard at all. You just basically stick them like literally in the first slot or second slot. Eventually they will get hit, so that's not the biggest issue. The bigger issue is obviously hovering around that 80% threshold. Most people like to be at full health. Sometimes you might have attacks that send you to the 83-84% health threshold. You might be at the 78-79% health threshold. That's really the only limiting factor about this unit at the end of the day. And their link set. Their link set's a little bit kind of wonky. It's got some good linking partners, but generally speaking, it's a little bit wonky. Android Assault is pretty good for an Android's team, sharing the limit you'll get with enough kind of free-to-play Android units, and you can maybe activate Tough as Nails, but that's kind of it when it comes to things. Obviously, the Android 14 and 15 unit does a really cool thing of activating Cold Judgment and Android Assault, but now the issue is, quite frankly, they're not meant to be run together. There is, the really cool physical Android 16 and 18 unit. This unit also shares some really, really good links with them. They share Cold Judgment, Android Assault, Tough as Nails, and they share solid support. I don't have that unit, unfortunately, but that is probably their best linking partner overall, because they share huge defensive links, 20% Android Assault, 25% Cold Judgment, 20% Tough as Nails with a 5% damage reduction, which is really, really good. So, and they kind of fulfill a lot of their requirements. They need a superclass ally attacking in the same turn to have a medium chance of attacks being effective against all types. They have a medium chance of guarding all attacks when there's an extreme class ally attacking in the same turn. Then they provide different levels of support depending on who they're facing. So when you look at units like Hacchan and Android 17, they kind of fulfill that superclass requirement. They're both physical type. They make a good pairing. Pretty strictly speaking, they are very, very good overall. So solid stuff. In terms of the rest of the linking partners, most of them will be 2 or 3 links. That's generally just what's best. There are some interesting pairings, like Grandpa Gohan and Pan, which is a unit that actually shares 4 links with these guys, and you can run them on joined forces. So if you're looking for a little kind of Halloween special to run together with Hacchan and Android 17, then I guess Grandpa Gohan and Pan is kind of your little go-to pairing that you can run them with. That being said, there's not too much else realistically to actively focus on. Everything is pretty straightforward, and you ideally just want to link them with androids. But that's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think they're a good unit, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.